So after one of my sessions, the other side said, Christine, take out a pen. We want you to write a video about something that came up in this reading. And it's all about the law of attraction. As you guys know, self-love is the highest virtue. I have many videos about self-love because it actually comes above unconditional love for others. Because once you've mastered the art of unconditional love for others, it's up to you to balance that with self-love and to temper it. So it's a judgment call that needs to be made in each individual situation and circumstance. So the law of attraction responds to self-love a lot. When you exercise self-love, you basically tell the universe, I love myself and so should you. So that's why little things that you can do throughout the day, such as buy yourself flowers, read a good book, go see a comedy, whatever you can do to reward yourself for your accomplishments, pats on the back, controlling your thoughts, self-complimenting. Wow, you really kicked butt in that business meeting. Good for you. Beat up that critical inner voice and get rid of it and replace it with complimenting, because that'll boost your personal power and your self-esteem throughout the day. Now, thoughts and emotions are energy, so you're also broadcasting a signal, right? I'm treating myself well, so should the universe, because I'm worth it. So that is what you are setting your magnet to attract to yourself, okay? Now, here's why the other side asked me to make this video, right? What happens when that balance between unconditional love for others and self-love is out of balance? It's uneven. It's tilted too much towards unconditional love for others as opposed to self-love. It's not being tempered with that judgment. Well, let's start with certain situations, shall we? The martyr. The martyr syndrome. The Bible has a lot about this, doesn't it? Unconditional love for others, service. Let me just bend over backwards and forwards and be your servant. Because unconditional love for others is applauded. Good for you. You're so selfless. You're so selfless. You really, really help that person. Well, that's great. That's fantastic. And we should be helping each other, because my other videos are all about the collective consciousness and your life purpose and speaking your truth and being who you're meant to be and helping others with your God-given gifts and talents, right? But when you take that too far and you extend yourself too much in trying to be the martyr in a family situation, just like, oh, I'll do it, at your own expense, what happens? You adopt a victim mentality and you start wallowing in self-pity and you start saying, poor me, poor me, poor me. And that victim mentality completely robs you of your personal power. Personal power is gone, out the window. And then the law of attraction responds to that victim mentality. Oh yeah, poor you. And then you start attracting crap to yourself because you see yourself as a powerless victim and you just melt. Now, what's the opposite of that? The opposite of that is gratitude. What are you grateful for? Write down a list, because then that triggers, personal empowerment and feeling blessed and a sense of appreciation that the universe then responds to and starts bringing you more abundance because you're grateful for the abundance that it's brought onto your path. So do you see how energetically the martyr system, when you take it too far, you end up demonstrating a lack of self-love? And the universe responds to that lack of self-love. And the law of attraction is actually really sensitive to that virtue. To be honest, like with my acid reflux, I totally caused it by drinking too much coffee and tea. So my karma was out of balance. I brought this, medical condition on myself. I was like, self-love. I'm like running into, the grocery store, just like grabbing all these flowers. Self-love. I'm buying myself flowers. Yay, Christine. Because I know how the universe responds to decisions based in self-love, however small. So I'm just saying, I'll do like little tricks like that when I know I've attracted darkness to myself. I'll turn it around with small acts of self-love. That's how powerful it is. It's like the universe is this tracking device. How much do you love yourself? Now, I'm not asking you guys to be selfish, but I'm just saying there's a balance between self-love and selfish. Also, self-love isn't supported by society. They'll call you selfish. They'll judge you. Maybe that's why it's the highest virtue, because it's the hardest one to obtain and actually stick to. Because you're kind of marching to the beat of your own drum and going your own way and risking judgment in the process. Oh, you're not a good person. You didn't do that. It's like, well, decisions based in self-love are always supported by universal energies. Remember that. So just make sure your decision is based in self-love. But the martyr syndrome is incorrect. So please throw that out the window. That whole I'm your servant, I'm your slave thing. No, you're really not. You're really no one's servant. You're really no one's slave. You know, I even have me made a video called, Are You Rescuing Your Partner? Case in point. The other side holds each individual accountable for their own life, their own behavior, their own happiness, because they manifest and create their own worlds. So if the other side is holding these people accountable, you have to hold them accountable. So you end up enabling them, you end up weakening them. If you help somebody too much, you take away their personal power by doing stuff for them. So you end up hurting yourself and others sometimes when you try to be the martyr. So another thing is people try to be the martyr at work. I'll do it. Are you just trying to show off? Is that coming from a place of ego and just trying to show off? Make sure your intentions are pure. If you're offering to do something, make sure your intentions are pure. I'm just saying. Because you attract darkness to yourself that way too. So, yeah. Like the type A personality. Where somebody, when I was in the corporate world, somebody took a cartoon and wrote, Miss Pavlina does not take sick days. And it was an image of a girl walking into work with an IV. And they stuck it on my desk. And they were making a statement about me being type A. And I was proud of it. When I got that cartoon, I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. That's pretty dead on. Thank you. And I actually ended up hanging that in my cube. And now, if somebody gave me that, I'd be like, ugh, don't tell me that about myself. I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that my self-love is so weak that I won't take a sick day if I need one. Because you only attract darkness to yourself. I'm not worth it. I'm not worth it. I'm not worth taking a sick day and potentially disappointing people and potentially having my work pile up or having my coworkers cover for me and, asking them to do stuff for me because I'm not worth it. I'm not worth it. You are worth it. Make those waves because it's self-love and you are attracting positive energy to yourself via the law of attraction if you do take that sick day because it's your truth. If your truth is you're sick, you're embracing your truth. So you're aligning yourself with the truth and the light. So being sick becomes your truth. That's really what it is. That's why the law of attraction rewards you. So along those same lines, another issue with this is just plain old people pleasing. And we do this all the time. Why do we try to people please? It's because we don't really love or accept ourselves. We need to get that love and acceptance from somebody else. So we're constantly trying to please them so that we can feed off of that approval. That is our ego needing that. Why does our ego need it? Because we're not giving that to ourselves. We're not doing a good job of giving that to ourselves. What's a good example of this? My parents want me to be a doctor or a lawyer, so I guess I better make them happy. They're paying for all the schooling, blah, blah, blah. It's not my life purpose. My life purpose is I really want to be an artist, but they told me I'm going to starve, so I'm just going to pursue the doctor or the lawyer path, even though it's not my life purpose or my heart-focused work. People-pleasing. Lack of self-love. Because you're not worth standing up for. You're not worth making waves for because you could potentially piss off your parents. So lack of self-love, you're not worth it. So you just told the universe you're not worth it. So not only that, you're not aligned with your truth because your truth is to be an artist. You're steering away from the truth towards something else. So law of attraction nightmare. That's how you attract. See how easy it is to attract darkness to yourself? Isn't this fun? What can I say? It really is Star Wars. Another thing is I'm trying to think of like, well, I mean, you guys know what people pleasing is. I mean, you get it. You know, this is another thing, is if you try to please people too much, you end up compromising your own wants, needs, and desires. And so that's why the other side is really big on journaling, so that you are in touch with your wants, needs, and desires, so that you can manifest them. But also, a lot of times if you're really focused on pleasing others and satisfying them, you lose touch with yourself. You don't really know what you want or need. You don't really know what your hobbies are. You know, maybe, you know, you're working so much you've lost touch with your hobbies because you haven't had time for them, right? You have other priorities. So just saying balance. You know, another thing is if you're type A and you work a lot, you do get a sense of accomplishment from that. Because if you're really, really hard on yourself, you're going to feel really good if you put in that extra long day. But then if you skip the gym, your body's a temple, so you're not taking care of your health, and you attract more negative energy to yourself. So I don't know, it's almost like logically, your logical brain is mentally rewarding yourself for working long hours and really stepping up to the plate at work and getting the kudos from that boss. But then the universe is like, no, what about the gym? What about your cardiovascular health? You're stressed. You need to balance that stress with exercise and endorphins and a healthy diet. Also, you've been stressed out, so your body's releasing cortisol, so you're gaining weight from the stress. And also, you need convenience food, so you're grabbing fast food, so you're eating crap, and you're not eating healthy food. So the universe responds to that down the toilet. Law of attraction. Yeah, like I said, this is a lot of fun. Another thing that people do in personal relationships is they just compromise too much. You just let your partner take the wheel and you just become a doormat, and you're like, well, I'm not worth making waves over, so I'm just going to keep compromising to avoid any sort of, scuffle. You're worth making a ruckus over. Don't compromise. Again, sometimes you have to walk away from an argument to try to figure out how you feel about it. That's fine. Take the time away from your partner and say, I have to get in touch with how I feel. Let me get back to you. And then you come forward and say, okay, this is what I need and this is what I want. And it's kind of like, what is your relationship with your own needs? Are your needs important enough to communicate? Because your needs are your truth. So you deny your needs, you deny your truth, you attract darkness to yourself. I should have like an audience here. Say it with me. You attract darkness to yourself. We are all superheroes. That's why it's my tagline. We are all superheroes, battling evil. The angel on one shoulder, the devil on the other. Demon on the other, whatever. There is no devil. So, yeah, just make sure you're not compromising too much, okay? You're worth it. If somebody bothers you, speak up. You're worth it. Your partner is not a mind reader. All right. So another thing that's really fun that I was mentioning earlier is I was talking about whether or not you're aligned with truth, right? Well, what about the big truth? I'm a psychic medium. My parents think I'm nuts. They'd rather me shut the hell up and go back to the corporate world. Are you gay and you don't want to come out of the closet because you're going to embarrass the hell out of your parents? Oh, well. Let's just stay in the closet and make our parents happy because we don't want to embarrass them. Well, if your parents are embarrassed, that's their ego. Light doesn't care about their ego. The light doesn't care about people pleasing your parents. They care about truth. And if being gay is your truth, you have to speak it. So you attract darkness to yourself by not speaking your truth. Are you supposed to be a professional tarot card reader? And you're not doing it because people are going to think you're weird? That's your ego. You just attracted darkness to yourself because it's your life purpose, your truth, and you're not aligned with it. The universe is a very unforgiving referee. You pursuing your life purpose and your truth. That's the light. That's the light. You pursuing that is a decision based in self-love. I love myself so much that I'm going to be true to myself, embrace all of my God-given gifts and talents, and embrace my truth and let the world know I'm gay. And then after I let the world know I'm gay, I'm going to let everyone know that I'm going to help others come out of the closet. I'm going to try to help others align themselves with truth. See how that works? Ooh. You just made yourself a plump and juicy magnet for wonderful and amazing abundance to come onto your path with that one. Because not only did you speak your truth, you're helping align others with theirs. That's some good stuff right there. Okay, so that's one of the things that they were saying is, I was recently speaking with a grandmother whose grandson came out to her, and she was totally cool, loving, supportive, you speak your truth, you be who you're going to be. But she hid the fact that he was gay from all of her friends. She didn't want them to know. And she's like, oh, no, that generation, our generation, they're really closed-minded. That's not going to happen, Christine. And I kept my mouth shut. But what I was thinking was, well, then I guess those aren't really your friends, are they? They're not. She's hiding the fact that her grandson is gay because she doesn't want to deal with it. Doesn't want to deal with it. Doesn't want to deal with the judgment, the opinion, like, what? Them looking at her differently. Number one, that's her ego. Number two, her friendships aren't really authentic, are they? So I challenge you. If people don't know who you really are, those friendships are totally 111% fake. You can consider that a totally fake friend because they have no idea who you are or what your truth is. That's how you sift through the most amazing friendships. And I think that's what makes my friendships so special to me, is they know who I am. I'm really far out there and they're still my friend. So God bless them. God bless them. Those friendships are even more meaningful to me. See how that works? And they'll be more meaningful to you because they know what your truth is and they love you. They love you for your truth. They respect you for your truth. They respect you for speaking your truth. And they're right there next to you, supporting you. So, yeah, I actually ended up feeling sorry for that grandmother. I was like, your friendships are all BS if you can't tell them that your grandson's gay. All right, another thing. This is actually really interesting, and it kind of freaked me out because it was something that didn't occur to me. Occur to me. I can't take credit for this. It was something that wasn't shown to me by the other side until recently. Suppose you're a fireman and you're rescuing people all day, every day. You're a hero. So obviously you attract positive energy to yourself by saving lives. What happens when you take that too far, right? Again, unconditional love for others, self-love. What happens when you take that too far and you start taking unnecessary risks and you start breaking the protocol that firemen have and taking these unnecessary risks to save people's lives? But it was a judgment call that had to be made, and your judgment was like way far out there. Like, whoa, you like seriously could have died. We can't believe you did that. So as a hero, as a fireman, you stick out from all the other firemen. And maybe that's what you're thinking as you're saving this person. You're like, I'm going to stick out from the rest of these, yahoos. So you go and you do that. What was that driven by? That was driven by your ego. And what did you do? You showed a lack of self-love. Because you overdid, you didn't keep that balance, that judgment of saving people. You went too far out there. You end up attracting darkness to yourself because you had impure intentions. Your intention was driven by your ego, so you attracted darkness to yourself. And that was one of the things that really freaked me out, because they showed me a true hero and someone that I really respect became a law of attraction nightmare because of that. Yeah, pretty weird, huh? So there's the difference between being a hero and then just total lack of self-love and just ego-driven behavior. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting and just something that was shown to me recently and kind of freaked me out. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense with the law of attraction, but it's kind of an eye-opener. Like, wow, you could even be too much of a hero? Crazy. Because you figure if you're saving a life, you're saving a life, but the universe can see your intent, so make sure it's pure. So another thing I guess that was really what they wanted me to stress, is like the last thing they really wanted me to just remind you guys of is just the importance of balance. Everything in balance. Again, that's what you ask yourself is this decision based in self-love? That's what you ask yourself. That's really the litmus test. And, you know, if you're making decisions based in self-love, you're feeding yourself, you're giving yourself what you need. So you are powerful and you do have more energy. So if you think about it, if you give yourself more self-love, you technically do have more energy to help others anyway, because you're feeding yourself. So you're all built up with this energy to go out there and help people. So you are putting gas in your tank via your decisions based in self-love. So I can see you are better able to serve the collective consciousness the better you treat yourself. So it benefits the collective if you treat yourself well. But, you know, that's really the thing, is be honest with yourself and others. Make sure your intentions are pure, and make sure if you feel spent or put out that you pay close attention to that, because that's when you go into victim mentality, like I said, and then you get resentful or angry. We're like, okay, now I feel like I'm just being taken advantage of. You know that whole saying, you give them an inch, they take a mile. Just make sure you've got those firm boundaries where it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this, but then that's it. Time parameters, whatever you want to put on it. Because at the end of the day, the law of attraction can be your best friend or your worst enemy. So the other side wanted me to make this video letting you know how to make universal energies your best friend in order to support and guide you on your path, encircled in love and light. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.